Do you remember this?
Central Italy, 750 years before the birth of Christ. Starting on a path that would lead farther than they could ever have imagined, farmers settled at a place on the river Tiber. They called it Rome.
If you do, you're probably old and definitely a nerd. This is the intro to Caesar 3, a 1998 strategic city building game by Impressions Games. Or maybe you played Pharaoh, Zeus, or Emperor, all similar games developed by the same studio. They were isometric games with an addictive gameplay focused on producing and distributing goods and services in a historical city. Since then, the city building genre has mainly moved on to 3D, and the classical mechanics that were typical for the Impressions games became out of style. Recently, however, two games caught my attention: Nebuchadnezzar by Nepus Games and Pharaoh: A New Era by Driscoll Interactive, a remake of the 90s Pharaoh game. Both these games were made by small developer teams, and both brought back some typical elements of the Impressions games, both in gameplay and in graphics. There's also the Julius and Augustus projects, which are open source remakes of Caesar 3. All these recent games made me rediscover the genre, and they seem to scratch an itch with many strategy gamers who have nostalgic feelings about the 90s Impression games, but also simply still like the addictive gameplay. This is what inspired me to start my own project, making a strategic city builder in the style of the 90s Impressions games. Next to my love for this genre, there's another reason I decided to try my hand at this type of game. In this genre, you can get a big amount of gameplay out of a relatively small set of assets and animations. The graphics side of game dev isn't my strong suit. Programming is my passion, and it will always be my favorite part of game dev. Now, that doesn't mean that I won't have to invest a lot of time and effort in making my game look good, and especially in making good UI, which is crucial for city building games like this. But in this genre, there's a lot of emphasis on the strategic gameplay mechanics itself, which is something that I really enjoy working on. The theme of my game will be the Gaul tribes. These were Celtic tribes living in Western Europe in areas that eventually got conquered by the Romans. The name of my project is Ambiorix, named after a leader of the Eberron tribe, who fought against the armies of Julius Caesar. There will be a campaign mode in which you'll have to build a new city in every mission with goals that get progressively harder. The missions will fit into a storyline that will feature a mix of fact and fiction, combining historical information with urban legends and myths about the Gauls, their culture, and their gods. For example, you'll be able to build monuments with menhirs and dolmens, their famous big standing stones, which will get you favors from the gods. I started working on the game roughly 1 year ago. As an engine, I chose Godot because I want to score indie game dev scene points, and I use NeoVim as a code editor because I want to score elite programmer points. I already made a basic implementation of a lot of the gameplay mechanics. I also created a simple map editor to be able to quickly create test levels. Visually, I'm not sure yet what direction I want to take the game in. For now, I'm just using a combination of all kinds of assets and placeholder stuff, which doesn't always fit together and is often incompatible with the historical theme. Currently, my goal is to release a demo in 2025, but there is no timeline set in stone. For me, this is a hobby project, so priority number one is that I enjoy working on it. If that means progress is slower, or I'm procrastinating on some essential features for a demo which I don't feel like working on, then so be it. However, these devlogs will be a way for me to take a step back, take stock of where I am, and see what areas of the game need work. Future episodes of this devlog will dive into detail into how I implemented specific functionalities in my game, like pathfinding, building, inventories, the tile map system, the mission goals, etc. If there's any specific aspect of the game you are interested in as a potential subject for an episode, let me know in the comments below. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel to follow my progress. You can also find me as MatterMC on Twitch, where I live stream most of my development. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you in the next episode.